Happy Easter, everyone. Hope you're all doing well and having a great day. Hopefully spending time with family or whatever your plans are. Well, let's incorporate some Apex Legends, the esports news into the mix. We've got organizations signing rosters, some of which have been waiting for this moment for a very long time. One specific pro has been on the wait list for an org to sign them for years and years and years. Finally, that day is coming. And then also we've got to talk about some weird roster mix-ups and what's going on with one specific roster that I know a lot of people are antsy about. One specific guy joining this roster but not playing with this roster at the next LAN. Let's dive in and talk about what's going on, the latest in the last couple of days. Firstly, scrim results. You know, you've seen them. Obviously they're all over the place, but for those of you that like to see who's the latest and, you know, greatest, NRG, 100 Thieves, Shopify, Rebellion, top 4, along with Envy, Stallion, no, top 3, sorry, with Envy and Stallions in the top 5. And then also just 2 nights ago, before we went on the weekend break, we've got Falcons, 100 Thieves, Gaming Empire in the top 3 with LG and Furia joining in the top 5, but barely missing the podium. Now, we've had another team that is up here a lot. Haven't necessarily seen them as of recent, locked in at 14th place here 2 nights ago, but they have finally announced the organization that they're joining, and it's going to be Orchid. So Orchid is a brand new organization, it seems, coming out of the mix. Now, I don't know what's up with this graphic. You should have learned your lesson from Guild last year that not many people in the Apex community appreciate AI, and the AI graphic obviously was picked apart. People on the Reddit thread and also on the Twitter page. However, other than that, people are pretty excited. You know, the Born to Seduce and Forged to Crush slogan is a little nice, but you know, obviously this roster has had a lot of talent that's been brewing up for a while. Hambino is probably one of the, like, I think for those people that know Hambino, you know that Hambino is a pro league level IGL. However, there's been some weird Team Penis stuff and all this challenger circuit stuff where you consistently see you know, at whatever team that he's on, constantly doing well. It's just that, like, not necessarily in the limelight of pro league. I think this roster is a little different though. I feel like they actually got a chance. Panic's obviously been an up and comer ever since the cheating allegations with Sweet Dreams years ago, and you know, ever since then it's just continuously being like proven himself. And Rambo, obviously a vet, a goat in the scene, who's been here for so long, and kind of had like a really good moment early on and then kind of like a dry period, but now Rambo's just kind of been killing it lately. So I like this roster because I feel like it's all a bunch of people out to still prove themselves, and there's that natural organic passion that's flowing because they want to make it. So really happy with this roster, and hopefully this org, you know, is one that, you know, sticks around and isn't just one little pickup. But some people were obviously making fun of it. But regardless, I would much rather see this, you know, someone that makes like jokes or at least, you know, puts a logo on the screen versus an unsigned team at LAN. That just kills me half the time. Speaking of signed teams though, another one that you guys know and probably love and has been here for so long, such a powerhouse organization, is Twisted Minds. I'm honestly surprised, but now we knew, like, within some group chat stuff, we knew Twisted Minds was coming, and we kind of knew that they were going after this roster. But I will say, and there were so many people that were following, like who Albralelie was following and who he recently followed, all this stuff. We knew Twisted Minds was coming into the mix, but I will say, to this day, it still kind of surprises me because just, I think a lot of times I still have this old Stallions like idea. You know, they're like kind of lower end of pro league, but Stallions really is a different team than what they used to be. They're much better, and I actually really like this roster. I don't think that they're, you know, I don't think they're back of the pack or anything like that anymore. By the way, a good graphic. This is probably what we should be shooting for. Maybe even throwing Hodzic in there somewhere. But anyways, I like this roster, and I like this organization getting back into the mix. I think this is for, you know, better publicity, obviously. So you guys know I'm always for it. And even getting some love here in the comments from some of your bigger names like Hal, like Privacy, and Tyler FBS, all of your big pros. So I like it. I think it's going to be well received. I think this is an org that hopefully would stick around. We've seen that they were interested, obviously, in the World Cup. That's coming back up again this year. And Saudi Esports Club as well, which is also where this is all, the World Cup is all being, you know, held. So I would like to see more investors continuously. I don't care if they dominate and monopolize it or what. I just want to see more orgs come and stay. I'm sick of so many teams coming in, they sign a roster, they lose land and they're out. So hopefully teams can get behind their players, and we could see more consistency in the scene. Also, Vaxion obviously coming out to share some stuff many days ago. We've had an update to this roster though that a lot of people have still been confused about what exactly is going on behind, not closed doors, but like what's going to happen with this roster, what are the next steps, and what to expect. Vax obviously came out to say, you know, ALGS has been cursed with me. I definitely did something in my past life because we've had 1 month to try to lock in a team. So didn't LFT, and that falls through. Last minute with reps and deeds, I'm unsure of this team, but we'll roll with it. And we start to do pretty decent. I feel confident with the team. And then reps leaves the team. Org falls through basically, and that's kind of been their big problem. Knock joins, but can't do open LAN with us because of the rules. And this is kind of like a little bit, not the same situation, but similar situation of rule sets that Nasty was going on in our last video. And then also he says, I'll have to IGL at LAN for the first time with a different third with no practice. All of this while dealing with a new house and moving frustrations. It's been a movie so far. So a lot of people, you know, like off the scene, off the comments, were not necessarily complaining, but I would say like kind of confused, right? Because this org kind of made it seem like, hey, or the rules kind of make it seem like if you need to do this little roster move, roster trick, if you want to call it, you can't have someone that's on a locked roster as a substitute player. We get that. You got to have somebody that's obviously, you know, under certain criteria. But it also kind of seemed like it was only for emergency purposes. So for like the Amphi situation, right, there's a big tweet and it's like, hey, I've got some family, you know, emergency stuff I have to tend to. I'm not going to play Pro League, right? But I will be back later on, but I got to handle this with my family. Reps very clearly just did not want to play. And it was kind of apparent that, you know, he also said he was going to be taking a break, right? He said he was going to, you know, play this, you know, LAN. And then after Split 1 Pro League, he would come back. But for Split 1 Pro League itself, he did not want to play. And he's kind of made that apparent for a while. And I think he's kind of been following. He kind of reminds me a lot of Sweet here in this sense that obviously good player, obviously a lot of talent, you know, likes the game. But, you know, just I don't think that passion or drive is necessarily oozing out right now. And maybe a break would be good to come back and kind of revitalize that. So emergency, I guess, yes, for Vax and Deeds, but I don't know if the, you know, situation itself was an emergency, at least from what I've seen, though. I could be missing something. I've tried searching, I've tried looking, and I'm not seeing too much. Also, Snipedown coming out to be the replacement for this roster, going to be playing in the ALGS Open with Deeds and Vax. Nothing better than playing on a team with nothing to lose. I agree. That is a very good feeling, and I'm excited to watch them because of that. Ready to show out. Double scrim block today. And so Snipe obviously having a good time with no expectations, right? He's only playing. So a lot of people have been asking what's happening with this roster. So Knock, yes, will go in for Pro League, but Snipe is the replacement for the LAN event. So they're looking to have fun. I'm sure it'll be a great time, you know, at least for Snipedown, of course. You would also see on stream some people talking about this roster. And I think it's kind of funny because there's, you know, you'll hear a comment in there, why is Snipedown's name wrong? Because he just joined Envy as a content creator. And it's kind of crazy how many young people don't remember the OG days of Envy back when this was the way you would do the Envy, not logo, but the name tag, the gamer tag. And so right now everybody thinks ENVY because that's like more recent Envy, but OG Envy back in the day was always the letter N and letter V. And Snipedown obviously repping that OG stage because he's been around the block for quite some time. But here's the clip, obviously, talking about and kind of showing some of the highlights of Snipedown's first day in the scrims.
Nothing's changed for Pro League. We're playing with fucking Nocturnal as of now for Pro League. Our next Pro League match day isn't until like May 20th. Before this but for this like upcoming LAN, Nocturnal can't play because of the way the rules are. So we need one because Reps isn't also isn't playing.
You saw VDR's playing with Snipedown.
What? No more desk job. You know he's hella happy, bro.
Yeah, why is Snipe an MV? But like, bro, like do the right MV.
Yeah, we can help you snipe.
We got me.
You come back.
I'm just
You're trying to get
no,
you.
I'm just better. I'm just better.
Jesus Christ, good shit.
Come up. You gotta come. Come up. Definitely come up. Come up.
Also, want to throw this side note here for the channel. For those of you that have been watching for quite some time, you'll know that there's been a little bit of a difference here on the channel versus where we were a couple months ago. Like, it's been more of a recap style. We've been catching up. The uploads haven't necessarily been daily or, you know, as consistent as they used to be. What's been going on? Well, a couple of things. Full transparency. As you guys know, I've got 2 kids. I'm a mortgage loan officer, so I work a full-time job as well. No excuse, because I used to do all the other stuff while doing it as well. It's just that the business in the mortgage world has been heating up so much. I've been so busy and I've had little family time, so I've been trying to obviously utilize my time wisely there. But on top of that, you know, there's just been like a weird section of Apex esports right now where Pro League's not going on. It's constantly scrim stuff. The rosters are locked, so there's not a lot of crazy stuff going on, so it just felt more natural to do recaps of what's been happening, obviously because the pace has been a little bit slower. Just my honest thoughts here, but you can probably tell compared to a couple of months ago, the slight disconnect. Things are not necessarily as sharp as they used to be, but we're obviously sharpening those things up as we gear up for LAN and as we gear up for Pro League as well. So if you've noticed it, that's why. Just wanted to make mention of it though, but obviously things kind of trickling back to the norm, to the usual. And so stay tuned. Obviously, we'll keep you up to date with all Apex Legends esports news right here on the channel. Like and subscribe if you want to stay up to date. And until the next time, we'll see you all later.